Coming up on Tacoma Report, the November 4th general election is fast approaching. You can educate yourself on the candidates and issues with the Video Voters Guide and Candidates Forum available on TV Tacoma, the city's website, and YouTube pages. Green Tacoma Day 2025 was a great success. We bring you highlights from the event. The City of Tacoma has launched the Tacoma Municipal Building Exterior Preservation Project. Halloween is just around the corner, and there's multiple family-friendly events happening around the city. The main Dia De Los Muertos celebration at the Tacoma Art Museum is happening on November 2nd. We have a preview and will tell you how to get free tickets. And John Inch and Gator Lanphear join us in studio to discuss the Envirochallenger 25th anniversary and demonstrate environmentally friendly craft projects you can do at home. Those stories and more straight ahead on Tacoma Report. Welcome to Tacoma Report. I'm Laura Proctor. On November 4th, Tacoma will vote for a new mayor along with 4 council positions. 3 Port of Tacoma Commissioner positions, 3 Parks Tacoma Commissioner positions, a school board position, a Pierce County District position, and a new Pierce County Charter Review Commission. Candidate forums hosted by the League of Women Voters of Tacoma Pierce County and video voters guides covering many of these races are currently airing on TV Tacoma and are available on demand on the City of Tacoma's YouTube channel.
The general election is Tuesday, November 4th. All ballots in their signed envelopes must be in drop boxes or postmarked by 8 p.m. on November 4th. Our vote is our voice. Please use yours.
For all the information you need to know about the November 4th general election, visit tacoma.gov/government/elections. Volunteers across Tacoma rolled up their sleeves for Green Tacoma Day on October 11th. The annual event, hosted by the City of Tacoma and the Green Tacoma Partnership, brought the community together to care for 13 parks and green spaces throughout the city. Participants planted native trees and shrubs, pulled invasive weeds, and picked up litter, all in celebration of Tacoma's urban natural areas. This year also marked the 20th anniversary of the Green Tacoma Partnership, a coalition of local organizations working to keep the city's green spaces thriving. For more information about this event and partnership, visit the city's site. The City of Tacoma has launched a major effort to preserve the Tacoma Municipal Building. The multi-phase exterior preservation project will address decades of wear and damage caused by past sandblasting that happened before the city acquired the building. This left the building's cast stone more vulnerable to water intrusion and deterioration. Phase 1, set to begin October 20th, has a $4.5 million budget and will focus on cleaning, sealing, and repairing the east and west facades of the building. The full restoration is expected to exceed $20 million and take several years to complete. More information about the Tacoma Municipal Building Exterior Preservation Project, including a project schedule, is available at tacoma.gov. The 3rd annual Hosmer Trunk or Treat event is happening on Saturday, October 25th from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. Bring the entire family and meet up at 9505 South Steele Street to join in the fun. This is a free community event filled with activities, resources, and, of course, treats. Take your costume for a test run the weekend before Halloween at Parks Tacoma Community Centers. On Saturday, October 25th, families are invited to attend Harvest Fest, happening at both Star Center and the Center at Northpoint. Both events will feature carnival games, face painting, pumpkin decorating, and more. On Halloween, People's Center will open their doors at 4 p.m. for an evening of family fun and trunk or treat, plus a holiday-themed open swim. All 3 festivals are free to attend. You can find more information online at parkstacoma.gov/harvestfest. Registration is open now for a cider making class at Parks Tacoma's Fort Nisqually Living History Museum on November 1st. The 21 and up class is part of the museum's Heritage Skills series and covers the traditional tools and techniques of fermentation from start to finish. Participants will end the day with a cider of their own to take home. All ingredients, materials, and hands-on instruction are included in the $90 registration fee. Sign up for the class online at fortnisqually.org. Tacomans have been celebrating Dia De Los Muertos events all throughout October, with the main celebration happening on November 2nd at the Tacoma Art Museum from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. Join the festivities with guided art workshops, hands-on crafts, music, food, dancing, and more. To get free tickets to the event, visit tacomaartmuseum.org. Coming up after the break, John Inch and Gator Lanphear join us in studio to discuss the Envirochallenger 25th anniversary and guide us through an environmentally friendly arts and crafts project you can do at home. See you on the other side. Welcome back to Tacoma Report. Joining me today are John Inch and Gator Lanphear to talk about the Envirochallenger 25th anniversary. John and Gator, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Well, let's just dive right in with some questions.
Excellent.
So, John, can you tell us how the Envirochallenger program began 25 years ago and what inspired its creation?
Yeah. So, 25 years ago, there was a young lady, Chris Gleason, working in the communications department, and she was challenged with researching from the Public Works and Environmental Services Department a way to do communication and outreach and teaching environmental education to the next generation of Tacoma residents, the students in the schools. And so she managed to find a program in Gary, Indiana that was doing a mobile classroom, if you will, in a van.
Yeah.
And came back to Washington and went to her supervisors and presented what she had found and discovered, and got a grant, got a van, had a van painted, and that started the Envirochallenger program. She started going out and developing a few lessons and going out to classrooms and launching this program into the schools with a lot of support from the school district. They were excited to have somebody who was going to come in and teach these types of lessons in the schools for them.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, Gator, you're going to do a demonstration for us.
So I brought in some materials that I get to go into classrooms and teach our lessons, but also artwork. And so it's about being, environmentally responsible. So I give kids, they bring in cereal boxes because a lot of kids have these or have access to something similar. And this kind of cardboard's super easy to cut. So with the kid scissors, the terrible lessons. So and so I'm gonna make a bat, which is environmentally important because they eat a lot of mosquitoes and they're very good for protecting our our areas and our crops, as well as they're pollinators. And so we're gonna make a bat, and we have a lot of old wallpaper that's been donated to us over the years, so we're gonna use that. Kids can use rolled gift wrap. They can color their own wings or whatever. So it's really just a fun project. So I'll work on that while you continue to ask questions, and I'll be here. So
we look forward to seeing the finished product. So, John, can you tell our viewers, over the years, how has the program evolved to keep students engaged and connected to environmental issues?
Sure. Over the years, we've just continued to develop our lessons. When we started the program, I started in 2006, we had a handful of lessons that we took on and ran with, and they were wonderful programs. But over the years, we kind of evolved those lessons and advanced them, as well as adding a number of our own lessons to it. And we expanded the program. So originally when we started, it was only just beginning to start with middle school lessons. And so we've had the program grow into middle school lessons where we can offer more hands-on or practical lessons. We've developed projects where the schools can do these separate from our visit to the classroom. They can do some project-based learning, action projects where they go out and do some actual work and collect some data. Okay. And then we've expanded a little bit into our high school offerings as well, where we can do things more climate related, so that we can inspire more of our students to get involved with the issues that are affecting their worlds and their futures.
Yes, absolutely. And when you say action projects, can you elaborate just a little more?
Sure. So yeah, some of them are a little down and dirty because we do a lot of stormwater messaging. One of them is involving going out in your schoolyard and flagging pet waste that might have been left behind in the play field the night before. And so we've had a lot of eye-opening discoveries with that as students, a class has gone out and placed flags by every little pile that's been left in their school year. I believe one school, they found 85. They had 85 flags sitting out in there. And this is their play area. This is where they're supposed to go out for recess and run around.
They don't pick them up, though.
And they
That's,
don't, they're left.
yeah, they
Right,
just
right.
flag them and point out.
Yes, the kids aren't picking
Yeah.
this up. They're not out there doing that. They're just pointing it out so that the community members can now see that this is an impact on their play field.
Right,
So
right.
it's one of them. Another one that they can do is they can actually investigate the waste that's being created in the classroom by sorting what's actually in the bin and then
Okay.
monitoring that through the school year as well. So some of these action projects are great ways for the classroom to continue to monitor their impacts or uses after we've come in and done one of our initial 50-minute presentations.
Wow, very, very informative, educational, and you touched a little bit on the impact that this program has made. But can you also elaborate a little bit more how it impacts how it's impacting things both in Tacoma schools and the broader community?
So in the schools, we're seeing more awareness for sure of these issues that we bring in. We're seeing more teachers that are asking us to come in and address these specific topics that are more timely than they've ever been in the lessons. And a lot of them center on their need to show human impacts on environments. And so when we come in and show how it happens and where our materials are coming from and the changes that can be made subtly by each and every one of us, then we start to see over the school year that the classrooms begin to morph and change. And we know that that is affecting the later grades too, because then we see a lot more of the environmental clubs where we're asked to come in and speak to those groups and do those kinds of presentations to super poignant, groups that are, this is their focus.
Right.
As in the community at large, I know that one of our impacts from our lesson was a simple saying that we had in our stormwater message program, where we were just talking about what goes down the storm drains
Right.
and trying to illustrate to students that storm drains don't filter water. They just offer water a way to get off of our streets and go to the next lowest areas, which is the Puget Sound.
Okay.
And so long ago, we started adopting the motto, if it hits the ground, it hits the sound. And after a while, we actually started to see the schools create these posters all on their own. We never asked.
Oh, wow.
They started creating these, if it hits the ground, it hits the sound posters. And then as we go out to community events, we'll be out in our tie-dyes and we'll see kids and parents that come up and, they're telling us what their students have seen and heard. And the hits the ground, hits the sound is carried on to the point where the city in its Think Big initiative has adopted that motto
Right.
for its stormwater message overall. And we have several murals painted throughout the city now with that motto on it.
Nice, nice. So Gator, coming back to you, how's that project coming?
I'm almost done, and normally we get, I'll have the class period to do it. And so here's what I've made. So you can see, again, I could go, it's open for interpretation so that the kids really get the opportunity to express themselves.
Yes.
And I do let them know that the bats are, and stick glue is somewhat effective, but liquid glue can't be trusted to many younger kids or older kids at points. But nonetheless, so they can make their bats however they want. And I do go through a process of, I show them the bat, but I have them ask what they think it is before they tell me. Before they can, think about what it might be. So that gives them an opportunity to interpret art.
Right.
And then part of my lesson really does go into the next step of how do you express the art itself? If someone says, "Oh, I like your bat," okay, or it's neat. I want kids to start developing, even in like younger ages, the vocabulary to explain and express what they think. I really like the use of the color that you have, or I like how you made the eyes a certain shape, or express it beyond just neat or cool, so that they're really starting to develop that vocabulary so that they can speak to their art more intelligently than just neat, And
Right.
so we get them, try to give them that expression. So, and this is kind of, it's my, this is what we do. So yeah, it is, and they're great pollinators and all that stuff. So there's,
Right.
Bats are important. We're making different this year. I've changed it because there's probably 1,000 kids who have made bats in the last 4 years, and they're all in 4th grade, 5th grade, and they grow, and they're like, bats again. So doing nudibranchs this year, so which are sea slugs, the pretty sea slugs you see, and so we're gonna give a little presentation on what they do and how they live in the Puget Sound, and so.
And what are they called again?
Nudibranchs or sea slugs.
Sea slugs.
Yeah, or sea bunnies. They have all sorts of little, super cute and fuzzy looking, and so. But there's a lot of room for interpretation for the kids to just express.
Right.
And that's super important to me. Is giving them that opportunity to say, I made this.
Right.
And it's beyond that. I'm a parent, and sometimes my kids brought home stuff in 3rd grade. You're like, great, how long do I have to keep this? And I'm not saying that, teachers are doing what they can, and I'm trying to make it, even though this might not make it past, the 31st of October, at least the kid will go, now I can create other things.
Right.
And I can start creating, now I've made a box house for my cat, or whatever, so.
Well, the fact that you are both doing the community engagement, the outreach with both youth and adults, I think that's imperative so that we can get that message out there, continue to get the message out there, what you folks are doing, and the importance of the Envirochallenger program. So, final question, looking ahead. What's next for the Envirochallenger program as it continues to inspire the next generation of environmental stewards?
Excellent question. And it's actually a question we're always asking ourselves because,
we are asked that question.
We are asked that a lot.
What
we
is
ask
next?
ourselves, what will we do? How will we develop this? What's the next one? We just continue to march forward working with the different programs in the city that are looking for ways to get their messaging out there. Currently, we're working with the Urban Forestry Program and developing a middle school tree lesson. And so it's constantly a chance for us to develop something new and grow the program so that we can reach out to more and inspire more of our students in the city. We're always looking to get out to community events, and one of our big desires is always to have more staff so that we can continue to go and reach out. Gator came on our program 6 years ago now, and we've had the opportunity to have one more person, and then that person's faded out. So we see the difference that we can make, and so for us in the future, we dream to grow our program just a little bit more in size, so that we can go back and continue to offer lessons up into the high school more, and expand that way. Currently, we are working with the colleges and high schools on an intern program. Our supervisor, Jacqueline Fuller, works that program. And then in the summer months, we also do a CTE program with the high schools, where we get them, the high school students, exposed to programs through the city where they might be able to get certifications, so that when they graduate from high school, they'll have that certification that goes on with that technical experience as well. So that's where we're kind of expanding a bit more into the workforce and the career orientation. We do a lot of foundational work in our program lessons, and then we get to kind of like wrap that back up with a little bit more of the internship opportunities through the city and the career and technical experience that they would get through the summer program.
Wonderful. So we're starting with the young folk, the adults, working up to potential career opportunities. So it encompasses more than just, it encompasses a large portion of, getting the message out and helping folks navigate to that next level. So thank you both for what you're doing.
Thank you.
This has been an absolutely amazing interview. We've got art here and, educating our viewers.
I mean, it's something. Art is subjective. And
some googly eyes.
Right, I needed googly eyes
right there.
Great, so.
Well, I absolutely enjoyed having you guys on the show. And again, the jackets are amazing. So thanks for brightening up our set today. Appreciate
Thank
you both. And we're looking forward to having you both on the show again to give us an update on how things are progressing with the Envirochallenger program.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Tacoma Report. For information about everything you saw here today and other city activities, visit tacoma.gov. I'm Laura Proctor. Stay tuned and stay connected.